Don't worry. Tell Angie that please try to connect if she can. But if she cannot do it, I am going to send the video um, in some minutes after the class starts. Sorry, after the class finishes. Okay, so let's wait a little bit more. Let's wait until 12 and 5. Sara doesn't listen. Sara no escucha. Ah, okay. Yes, now you can listen. Okay, that's great. Okay, 28 people. That's good. 2 more minutes and we will start. And please tell your partners that this is recording so they don't have to worry. They can access a little bit late, but just a little bit, okay? Well, if you want to take notes, that's great, Sarah. But I am going to mostly explain using some examples here, some a little presentation, and also I'm going to explain using this because I can write easily here. You see, I can write.
Sorry,
So,
teacher, but
yes, Mateo, what happened, Mateo?
Espérate, miramos que tengo la cámara.
If you want to turn off your camera, you have to press this button. Okay?
Martín, mire que la cámara está apagada. Sí.
profe, mil disculpas, ¿puedes hablar más duro?
Okay, I am going to turn off I am increasing the microphone's level. Is it great? Is it good? Yes? Do you listen better?
Yes,
Okay.
teacher, it is
Is
better.
it good or is it too loud? Okay, I am going to assume that it is good. Okay, so not loud? No, se escribe así, loud. That means that is que está muy alto. No, it's not too loud. So let's wait a little bit more. 1 more minute. 33 people, that's great. 1 more minute and we will start.
Teacher, teacher,
Ah, no, no, no es Mateo, no.
what are going to do?
Ah, okay, we are going to make a little bit more exercises. Try to listen.
Teacher, you're speaking so loud. Okay,
Too loud?
thanks. I don't know speaking. Estás hablando muy bajito.
Sube el volumen, Mateo, porque ya lo subí mucho. Bueno, voy a subir
Es
un
que al
poquito el
máximo
volumen
el
del
mío.
micrófono. Ok, ¿mucho mejor?
Sí, profe, demasiado.
¿Ya escuchas bien, Mateo?
Sí,
Ok,
gracias.
perfecto. Vamos a ver, son
Hola.
4 personas.
Hola.
Chicos, porfa, apaguen los micrófonos y empecemos, ¿vale?
Out here in the garden.
Porfa, no hagan que yo mismo les tenga que apagar los micrófonos. ¿Listo, chicos? Perfect. Okay, let's start. So, once again, good afternoon, actually, because it's 12 and 6. It's past noon. So, please remember that you have to remain with your microphones off. I am going to ask some people, and in those moments, you can turn it on, but other way, you should remain with the microphone off. Please don't use the chat for talking other things besides the class. And be really attentive to this. So we are going to start with a little review on physics. Juan Andres Chala is getting inside. Okay, that's great. With a little review on physics. So Okay, I am going to talk about this little questionnaire that I asked you to solve last Wednesday. Do you remember it? So if you were attentive last Wednesday, I asked you to watch a video and to solve this questionnaire. But I see here in the answers that a lot of you actually answered it in a wrong way. So I want to quickly check this. Oh, what happened there? ¿Qué está pasando ahí?
Profe, lo que pasa es que Mateo está presentando.
Ah,
Espera,
Mateo, por favor, no
¿qué?
presentes. Cierra la
No, no estoy
presentación.
presentando nada, no sé, se me empezó a olvidar.
No le veo la pantalla.
Sí, mira.
Mateo estaba presentando ahí.
Ya me salí y vuelvo a entrar.
Ok, vale, Mateo, no te preocupes.
No
Chicos,
entiendo
cuidado
qué
con
acabo de
eso, no se
pasar.
pongan a molestar con las opciones, ¿vale? Okay, so I can see here that a lot of you answered wrong. So I am going to talk about all of the options and what the answers were, because maybe you didn't understand how. Okay, I am not. Ya me di cuenta. Espérenme que ahora tengo que poner mi pantalla a compartir. Volver a mostrarte.
Ya se arregló, oye. Profe, en serio, perdóname.
Tranquilo, Mateo. Listo, pero ten
No
cuidado,
entendí
¿vale?
qué pasó en
Que si
este
no se
momento.
nos retrasa la clase y tú sabes que hay tiempo limitado. Okay, now you see me, right? You see my presentation.
No.
Yes, you see it. So now I was talking about that last Wednesday. I asked you to solve this questionnaire, but here I can see the answers. And I can see that a lot of you answered in a wrong way. So that made me a little bit worried. And I want to talk about that really quickly. So I think that maybe you didn't understand what you had to do by the headings of the points. So we are going to review it a little bit quickly here. So the first points, the first half of the questionnaire was supposed to be like that. Sorry, I am a little bit okay. No, nothing happens. Yes. So you had all of these options, but you had to put the number of these options. So you have first test the hypothesis by performing an experiment, make make observations and record data, make a hypothesis and experimental predictions, and other three options. So what you had to do is order them, order, because they were not ordered, they were not organized in the actually proper sequence. So if you see all of these options and we are remembering the scientific method, which is this, if you remember that, you have to ask a question, do background research, construct a hypothesis, test with an experiment, check if it is working. If not, troubleshoot some things. If it's working, you have to analyze data and communicate the results. So if you take that diagram and you try to understand all of these, you can see that they are not in the proper order. You have to order it. So in the next slide, here you can see the proper answers. Yes, you can see in the right column, sorry, in the left column, you can see this. You can see that the first one is the number 5, the second one is the number 1, and this fourth one, the third one is the number 4. And you can see here all of the proper answers that you had to put. And in this side, in this part, they are organized in the proper order. So, okay, what is the first one? This one. This one is the first one. So we put it first. Make observations and record data. That makes sense because that is the first thing that you have to do when you're going to use the scientific method. Okay, The second one is this one. Identify the problem to be studied. Yes, that's actually true, because if you make this before identifying the problem, or if you make background research before identifying the problem, it doesn't make sense, because what are you researching, or what are you testing if you have not identified a problem? So the third one, it is supposed to be this one. Perform background research on the problem. Yes, because after you know there is a problem, maybe you want to make a little research in order to know if the problem has been already solved by other person. You don't make a hypothesis before making background research. What is next? We are here. The next one is the fourth one. Make a hypothesis. Yes, now you make the hypothesis. What happened, Mateo? Tell me really quickly, please, Mateo. Mateo, I am waiting for you to write or to talk. Do you have any question? Okay. Of course not, Mateo. I am going to finish the class a little bit before, but it's because your parents have meetings with your tutors, and you need a little bit of time to prepare to access the proper links and all of that stuff, but not to make talk, okay? Because I am going to close this meeting when the class finishes. So I am going to take you out of to all of you. So okay, we were in the fourth one. So make a hypothesis and experimental prediction. Yes. And after you make the hypothesis, you test it with an experiment. You test it with an experiment. And after you make the experiment, the experiment gives you some data, algunos datos, okay? So you use that data to make a conclusion. That was the proper order, and the answers were 5, 1, 4, 2, 6, and 3. Okay? Yes, Mateo. Trying is what matters. So those were the proper answers, but I can see here. I can see some here, for example, in the first one, most of you answer 5. Great. 5 was the first answer. But look, almost half of you answer wrong. And if half of the people don't answer the correct thing, it means that you have not understood properly. Okay, let's look at the second one. The second one was number 1. Yes, most of you answer good, but look, almost 65% of you didn't answer properly, and that's more than the half. So that those diagrams help me checking if you have understood or not. So okay, that was it. Now let's check the second part. The second part was provide the terms that match the scientific definitions below. So remember here, let me show it to you in the proper questionnaire. In this part, you had, okay, I am going to make preview. Okay, then yes, next. Perdón, chicos, I have to answer all of it so I can continue to the next one. I am answering all wrong, of course, but no problem. Gabriela Heredia is getting inside. Yes. So, okay, here you had to read this definition using a set of observations to test a hypothesis. And you had to select what of these terms, scientific terms, matched the best that definition. So here, here, and here. So let's check the answers in the
Que
presentation.
tiene que ser encima de la cama, si no, no puedes estudiar.
Okay, Gabriela, I am going to ask you please to turn off the microphone, please. Thank you. Yes. So using a set of observations to test a hypothesis. That is experiment because it is not a hypothesis because there is already a hypothesis. Data, there is another definition for data. Conclusion theory, there are other definitions that matches all of it. So the proper one is experiment. The second one, here, an idea about the system being examined. Remember that a hypothesis is a tentative answer that you give to the problem, to the situation, and that it is able to be tested. So that matches with a hypothesis. The numerical values recorded during an experiment of observation, that is the data, that is the information that you collect with the experiment. A decision made based on the data from an experiment. So this is actually after an experiment. So okay, let me check the chat. Let me check the chat in the other computer. No, that was not a grade. Don't worry, that was a review. No problem. No problem. If you didn't answer it, well, it's not a problem, but you had to do it in order to practice and in order to know exactly what we are talking about today. Okay, a decision based on the data from an experiment. So that means that it is after the experiment. So it cannot be the experiment, it cannot be a hypothesis, it cannot be data. The theory is the very, very, very last thing. And a decision is a conclusion. Because from the data from the experiment, you decide what you are going to tell about the situation. If your hypothesis was right or if your hypothesis was wrong. A conclusion lets you tell that. And look, this is a really important definition because I know that most of you always confuse the term hypothesis with a belief. What is belief in Spanish? Belief is creencia. And you think that a hypothesis is a belief. You think that una hipótesis es una creencia, and that's not right. Look the actual definition of a theory. Sorry. Hypothesis is a belief and something like theory. Perdón, perdón, ahí me confundí. Theory. You think that theory, sorry about this, you think that theory is a belief, and it is not. Look what theories are. A well-supported, can please you tell me the meaning of this through the chat? What is well-supported in Spanish? I am waiting. More or less, more or less. But the literal meaning, what is well? Well is bien. And supported is soportar, soportado. Bien soportado, o sea, con fundamentos, con bases, no porque se le ocurrió, ¿ok? That's it. Buen soportado, bien soportado, that's right. Set, conjunto of observations and explanations for a natural event. So a theory, it's not something that you just believe, like Verdugo was saying before, believe in aliens. No, you can believe in aliens, of course, but the existence of aliens is well supported with observations and explanations and data? No, because the belief of aliens is only a matter of the stories that some people tell you that they experience, but you don't know that that's true or not. So the existence of aliens is not a theory, okay? It is a belief. It is a belief. You can make a hypothesis about aliens and why they may exist or may not, but that is not a theory. A theory is well supported. Okay? So when some people say that the theory of relativity is a belief and it may not be truth, or it may be truth, it is not actually like that, because the theory, remember the word theory, is the theory of relativity of Einstein is well supported because there have been observation, explanation, data, and it is most likely true. Yes, that is a theory. It is not a belief. So please, I want you to start avoiding the use of the word theory to talk about some things that you think are true, because if you don't have well supported a set of observations to support it, that is not actually a theory. Okay, is it clear? Santiago was using Google Translator. That's cheating, Santiago. Okay, do you have any questions about the meaning of theory and that it is not the same thing that belief? Mm, I don't see your. Oh, okay. Um, so Wilches has a question or doesn't have a question?
No, I don't have a question. Was for
Okay, thank you, Wilches.
that you understand.
Okay, let's move to the next slide.
Teacher,
Yes, Mateo.
mi mamá te manda saludos.
Thank you very much, but those things at the end. Okay, so okay, this is the table of conversions. Natalia Sanchez. Hello, Natalia. Don't worry, the rest of the class was it is being recorded. So I am going to send, as always, the link some minutes after the class finishes. Okay. So okay, we are not going to talk about the last activity that you had to make, which was about conversions. Most of you had it really good, but I am not sure if you did it on your own, because most of you, I say most of you, not all of you, didn't send the processes. And remember, the process is really important because that allows me to tell what are you making good and what are you making wrong. So if you send me all of the answers wrong, I cannot tell you anything, because okay, yes, they are all wrong, but I don't have any information about what you can correct and what you're doing right. So we are going to need this table. We are going to need it because we are going to solve one by one these things. Okay, I know that some of you, actually most of you, already solved it properly, but I want to do it because I know that actually quite a lot of you don't understand it properly. So we are going to make this one. Let me try to do something. Let me try to, yes, I am going to mantener estas. So I am going to create 5 more slides for this. Okay, presentar, yes. So the first one is 5 meters to kilometers. Let's do it in this next slide. 5 meters to kilometers. So the first thing that you have to do, can somebody tell me with the microphone?
El profe.
Hi.
Hi. Eh, my I didn't do a process as you do. In that cases, I only like
You put only the answers. Don't worry, but you know how to
no
do it,
no
right?
that that thing no the process. I
You
only
did a different process?
yes.
What, did you do it with rule of 3?
Gracias, Wilcher.
Ah, que es mi mamá para
Teacher fraction.
Okay, yes, but thank you. I don't know. I think it was Verdugo who was talking.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, we are going to do that. But let me ask something to Wilches. Wilches, do you do it with
No,
rule of three?
it's retirate the zeros from the kilometers and add them before the 5 meters.
What? I can really listen to you properly. Can you repeat it,
Sí, por el
please?
Mateo. I quit the zeros of the kilometers and I put them for the meters.
So you know that
Es la
1 meter, sorry, 1 kilometer is
la estrategia.
1,000. Oh, sorry, meters. So
Um,
here are three zeros. So you put it to 5 meters is let's see, don't put everything. You
No,
didn't know.
no,
Obviously, this is wrong. That is wrong.
before.
Before, yes. Okay, so 0, 0, 0. Sorry, Dios mío. 5 kilómetros. Algo así, pero sigue siendo 5
Yes.
veces.
Yes. No, but that is the answer.
No,
Yes.
like this.
I'm not writing that. You
With
can't
the
tell me
comma.
that is wrong. Yes, the comma, obviously.
Obviously, yes, that's right. That's right. That is a really good way. Um,
Pero es
but
el
let's
vago.
do it.
he
obviously
moved
the same way
the comma
you move
three
the
times.
comma 3 times. Yes, that is another way that you have to do it, moving the comma up or down. But what happens, for example, if you wanted to transform to miles? You didn't.
Sí,
You
¿qué
cannot
pasa,
apply
Wilches?
this method.
I all do with a rule of three, the rule of three.
Okay. Yes, that's good. So you know how to do it with rule of three. So thank you, Wilches. What are we going to do? We are going to talk about the rule of three, but later in this year in math. So once we have learned rule of three and the many things that the rule of three imply, because that actually comes from proportionality, which is a really huge topic, really important. Once we learn rule of three properly in math, we are going to take the rule of three from math to physics, and I am going to teach you how to do it. Okay? But actually, let's do it in the other way because most of you know how to do it. Any problem with that, Wilches?
With what?
With doing it with the method that I was explaining. No
No,
problem.
no,
Thank you,
no.
Wilches. But
No.
anyway, the way that you do it is good, and if you want to do it with rule of three, that's perfect. No problem.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, Mateo? No.
No, Tomás.
Tomás Arguello. Yes.
Yes.
Tell me.
I don't understand the form that you do, but I do with
With rule of three?
rule of three. Yes,
Okay, perfect.
all the
So
time.
do
But
you
I
want me
don't.
to explain to compare the two methods? Do you want me to compare the method that I explained and also explain it with rule of three?
Yes.
Okay, I am going to do it in the next slide. So, sorry, 5 meters to kilometers, right? And I am going to divide this thing a little bit because with rule of three, you don't need that
Okay.
much space. So the first thing that I need to do is to multiply by a fractions. I think Verdugo was the one that said the answer. What happened in the chat? What happens in the chat?
Yes.
Hi, hi, hey. Okay, please try to avoid greeting yourself. Traten de no saludarse. ¿Listo, chicos? Después se saluda que ustedes tienen sus grupos de WhatsApp y demás. Entonces, porfa, usemos el chat solo para las cosas estrictamente de la clase. ¿Vale, chicos? Ustedes son muy juiciosos, así que sigan como van. No usen el chat para lo que no es. Okay, so we need to create another fraction that includes meters here, but also has kilometers. Okay, so let's go back to the table, and you can see that here 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So we are going to use those numbers. 1 kilometer, 1,000 meters. 1 kilometer Por favor, apaguen los micrófonos, chicos. No veo quién es el que lo está usando, pero porfa. Thank you. Voy a apagárselo. Pote, porfa, apaga tu micrófono. Thank you. Okay, that's great. So, how do you multiply? What? Nothing? Okay. How do you multiply a number by a fraction? Remember, you have to put a little one as the denominator, and you multiply straight, derecho. What is 5 times 1? Sorry. 5 times 1 is 1. So, this que 1. 5. And what is 1 times 1,000? 1,000, okay? But remember, the reason that we put meters here in the denominator is that we can cancel the 2 meters. So this is not, this is gone. And what is remaining? The kilometers. Kilometers, okay? So we are not done yet because this is a fraction and we can also interpret fractions as division. Thank you for the person that said that we have to divide. Yes, we have to divide. And what is 5 divided 1,000? 5 divided 1,000. You can do it in calculators just to make our process a little bit faster. And 5 divided by 1,000 is, okay. And in some calculators appear something like this. It appears that it is 5 times 10 to the power negative 3. And you may say, what is that thing, teacher? We have not learned that topic. And I have to say that, yes, you're right. You have not learned that topic, but it is really simple. And let me explain you really quickly. This is called scientific notation. This is a way for of abbreviation in the calculator or in many contexts. So if you have 5 times 10 to the power negative 3, so it means that you have to move the comma that, where is the comma, teacher? The comma is here, la coma está aquí, pero no la ponemos porque pues no se necesita. You have to move the comma 3 spaces, but the negative sign tells you that it has to be in the left direction. So if the comma is here, so you have to put it one place here, you move it 1, 2, 3, la coma tiene que ir acá, here. But what is all of this white space? So you complete it with zeros. You complete 1 0 here, you complete 1 0 here. And before the comma has to also go another 0. So it's 0,005. Yes, is it the same answer that we got previously? Yes, the same answer. So 0,05 kilometers. Okay, I want to check the chat a little bit because this may be a little confusing for you. Cataplested dice, profe, o para hacerlo más fácil, multiplicamos el 5 por un kilómetro dividido 1000 y da el mismo resultado. Sí, Cata, that's rule of 3. I am going to make it actually in this white space, okay? But before we do it with the rule of 3, kids, do you have any questions about the scientific notation? Don't worry if you don't understand it properly right now. You will get used to this. No question. O darle shift eng. Shift eng. What is shift eng? Shift eng. Okay. 5 divided 1000. I am going to try that option. Shift eng. No me sale nada. En shift eng. Be careful with that. That is not properly. Okay. So now I am going to make it with the rule of 3. Okay. So for the rule of 3, we need this fraction and this fraction also. 5 meters over 1. And you also need the fraction of 1 kilometer over 1,000 meters. You cancel also, but with the rule of 3, you have to multiply this. You have to multiply this times this. Esto lo multiplican. And the result is 5,000. 5,000, nothing, because the disappeared. But later, you have to divide by this. Okay? You have to divide by 1. No, espéreme que me enredé. Okay. Let's go back. Forget about this. Let's forget about this. Me disculpo. Next slide. Ok. Otra vez. 5 metros, 2 kilometers. Ya me acordé. So in the rule of 3, you have 1 meter, 1 kilometer, sorry, to 1,000 meters. But you have another fraction including this. 5 meters. Oh, perdón. Pasa que no puedo borrar esto. Sorry. 5 meters. But you don't know how many kilometers, which is what you want to understand, right? So you need to find this number, but you have 3 numbers. That is why it's called the rule of 3. Because with 3 numbers, you find a 4th one. So how you are going to do it? You multiply it in diagonal. 5.
Profe, perdón por interrumpir, pero es que Mateo está haciendo algo en el chat, que está poniendo comentarios con un montón de, o sea, con un montón de espacio y queda bien raro el chat.
Ok, muchas gracias, Santiago. Mateo, porfa, mira, si te das cuenta, mantener. Si te das cuenta, voy a hacer una breve interrupción. Esto se está grabando, Mateo. ¿Listo? Lo dije desde el principio. Creo que tú ya estabas. Y lo dije también en la clase anterior que tuvimos. E independientemente de una buena o una mala clase, yo envío esto a sus papás. ¿Vale? Y no sé si tus papás tuvieron reunión ayer o el día de hoy la tienen, pero pues también le voy a informar a Ivonne para que hable con ellos directamente. Como te he dicho siempre, tú siempre participas, siempre tienes ideas excelentes, tú eres muy pilo, pero porfa, deja de hacer indisciplina. Okay, we continue. And please turn off the microphone. So for this, you have to multiply in diagonal. So 5 times 1, which is 5. But what do we do with the third number? With the number that is remaining, you have to divide. So you have to divide 5 by 1,000. And what is that? If you do it in calculator, once again, 0,005 kilometers, because that is the only thing that is remaining. This has to be in kilometers, so the answer is in kilometers. Is it clear more or less? Because I am not explaining this properly.
Teacher,
Because that is a little
I
bit
don't-
supervised. Yes?
I don't listen one part because microphone was on and
Okay. Do you want me to repeat?
no all, but the part that's
the rule of
the
3.
part that yes.
Okay. Let me create, another slide, perfect. So, once again, 5 meters to kilometers. And you make it with the rule of 3. You have don't worry, in 8 minutes we are going to finish the class, okay? Well, rule of 3. So you have, you want it in kilometers, and you have 5 meters, okay? So then you have to find another fraction in the table with kilometers and meters, which you already know is 1 and 1,000. So 1 kilometer, 1,000 meters. But you don't know this number. You only know 3 numbers. That is why it's called the rule of 3. So when you have it like this, you can make 2 simple steps. You multiply the numbers that are in diagonal. So it's 5 times 1 equals 5. And the result, you have to divide it by the remaining number, which is 1,000. So you have to divide 5 by 1,000. And that gives you 0,005. And the answer is in kilometers. A little bit more clear, Tomás. I don't see the chat. Chat. Hello. No me digan que se me volvió a caer el internet. ¿Me escuchan, chicos?
Sí, señor.
Ah, bueno, entonces
Yes,
solo me
yes,
cayó el
yes,
internet. Ah,
teacher,
ya.
yes. I listen
Thank
you.
you. Okay,
Okay.
kids,
Yes, teacher.
I want you to ask. I want to ask you, sorry. Do you have
Sí,
any
profe.
question? Because this rule of 3 is something that I decided to explain today because I noticed that a lot of you do it in this way. But maybe other people is confused. So I want to know, sorry, if the people that does it with rule of 3 is right with it. And the people that does it with this method is right with it. And you can choose any method that you prefer and you have to do it that way and it's not a problem, right? Right? No problem? Ah, ok, sí, sí, sí. Ya, ya, es que no veía el chat por aquellos espacios. Ok, no problem. So, I want to know.
Deje el mouse quieto, huevón.
Ok, hágale caso a su mamita.
Esa
Ok,
violencia.
vamos a apagar ese micrófono. Ya lo apagaron, muchas gracias. Sí, F. Bueno, I want you to decide about the next exercise that we are going to do because we are not going to have enough time to make everything. So please write in the chat the point of this that you want to do, or if you want to do another one from here. What do you want from 6 to 15? You want, oh, one person wants to do 10, 9, 10, 10, 10. No, only Santiago.
¿Cuánto da?
Okay, 10 millimeters to meters. Okay.
Usted me está copiando. Ahorita lo pongo en clase.
Ok, 9, 9. No, pues espere. Este solo es uno. 9, 10. Esto no. 10, 10, 10. 9, 10, 10. 9, 10. I think 10 is gonna win. So let's prepare for 10. Okay, point 10. Let's do it right now. Let's do the point 10. 54 millimeters to meters. Okay. 54 millimeters to meters. That's it. So, I want you to also write in the chat if you want to do it in the normal method or in rule of 3.
Rule of 3.
Okay.
Teacher, I don't listen.
Who doesn't listen?
Juanita.
Juanita.
Juanita. Okay, let me write in the chat. Okay, okay, rule of three. Perfect. Then let's do it with rule of three. So, 54 millimeters and sorry, millimeters, and the answer has to be in meters. So we need another fraction with millimeters and meters. So kids, if we have 1 meter, how many millimeters are there? Write in the chat, please. How many millimeters is 1 meter? 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Yes, 1,000. So remember, these two things have to be equal. That is one condition of the rule of three. So 1 meter is 1,000 millimeters. Perfect. So when we finish, 54 millimeters is going to be equal to this value in meters. So once again, multiply in diagonal. So 54 millimeters times 1. Uh, let's don't use the units. Times 1 equals 54. What is the remaining number? The remaining number is this. So we have to divide 54 times 1 by 1,000. And the result is, kids, what is it? 0,054 meters. Here's 0,054. And that's it, kids. Is it clear, boys, girls? Okay, thank you very much. So I am going to finish the class in more or less 1 minute because you need time for your parents to prepare for the meetings. And remember, kids, if you have any question, please write to me through Phidias. You know that we are all at home, so it is easier for me to check, even if it's a little vacation. But if you have any question and I can help, please don't be afraid to write. Kids, I want to congratulate you because your behavior was really good, except some exceptions, but they were not a really huge problem. So I like when classes are like that, and I am going to perfect to improve, para mejorar this way of teaching you because this is like a board, but I right now I don't know how to write in other color different than red, and I don't know how to erase these things. But I think this is really useful because when I need to make, for example, graphs and to make drawings, it is easier than only having a presentation and not presenting from that. Did you like it? Did you like that I wrote in the screen?
Yes.
Yes. Obviously, you know that my handwriting is really awful, but I think that if from last year you learned to understand my letters. So if that is not a huge deal, I am going to continue using this thing that allows me to write. Do you have any question before we close the classroom? Okay, no, that's great. Thank you very much. I am going to wait for more people to answer, but I think you don't have any question. So kids, thank you very much. Have a really good Holy Week. Be with your family. If you believe in God, pray. If you don't believe, well, at least rest because we are going to start new term after Holy Week. So try to spend, try to have a really nice Holy Week, and we will talk. No, Pelusa didn't die. um, we will talk after Holy Week. So thank you very much, kids. I miss you so much. I expect that this quarantine doesn't last too much, but if it does, we have to do it. We have to take care of ourselves and the other people. So bye bye, kids.
Chao, profe.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, teacher.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay, entonces let me take out everyone. Please get out because I need to be the last one in this thing. So I can close this classroom. Bye.
Bye,
Voy a
teacher.
empezarlos a sacar muy groseramente.